Do it.
Do it!
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Push it! Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War's multiplayer might be the worst, most poorly put together multiplayer in COD's long history. I haven't played every Call of Duty multiplayer to date, so I'll let you guys be the judge of that, because trust me, you're not going to want to miss what I have to say. Let me quickly summarize. If you think this game has some terrible and horrendously uninspired design, extreme balance problems, with some ridiculously overpowered weaponry, or sometimes you get killed by the most absurd shots that look like your opponent actually missed, my friend, you don't know the half of it. This video is basically a rundown of why Call of Duty Broken Ops Cold Turds multiplayer sucks. Get ready. Before we begin, I gotta put out this quick disclaimer. I stupidly decided to get this game on PC instead of my Xbox One. I'm trying to get more into PC gaming, and truthfully I'm still quite new to it. Plus, I didn't pre-order my Series X in time, so I figured I'd want to play this on the best hardware that I can. Unfortunately, every time I get a new PC game and try to use OBS for recording, well, for whatever reason, it just didn't want to cooperate. So the footage you're going to be seeing, while I mouth off this game's laundry list of problems, was actually provided by my friend British Potato. So I want to give him a quick thank you for helping me out with this video. But enough introduction, let's begin. Now I'm going to skip a lot of my thoughts on the overall multiplayer design because I made another video that talked about the beta that Treyarch provided for Black Ops Cold War. And since not much was changed, most of my thoughts are pretty much the same, if not worse, because I didn't address any of the criticisms I had and managed to make the game even more unbalanced. I missed the days of thinking the sentry gun on satellite was the most overpowered bullshit the game had to offer. Oh boy, was I sorely wrong about that. But I suppose I gotta be fair and run down some of my praises for the multiplayer. Spoilers, there's not much. Anyway, the weapon sandbox is clearly defined. Limited, very limited, which is one of my issues, but defined nonetheless. For example, you get 3 pistols, and each pistol you have all serve a different purpose. One's your standard semi-automatic, one's a powerful revolver with limited ammo capacity, and the last pistol's a triple shot burst fire. This is similar for the 2 whole shotguns you get access to. 2. One's your traditional powerful pump action shotgun, and the other is your lesser damage, higher fire rate semi-automatic shotgun. However, my issues with the sandbox more lie with the lack of options it provides and its terrible balance. Treyarch has also generously provided a multiplayer mode where you can verse the AI bots on all multiplayer maps, which is handy for players that are new to Call of Duty, or if you're like me and are trying to learn how to play competitively with a mouse and keyboard. It's excellent target practice and it helps you get to know the maps a lot more. You can also adjust the difficulty of the bots, which is also really cool. There's also a music player function, which is pretty awesome, that allows you to listen to your choice of the Black Ops Cold War soundtrack, especially since it's a damn good soundtrack, minus that stupid disco jam and the fact that they cut out all of the awesome musical pieces from the original Black Ops, which had one of the sickest soundtracks in video game history. The music player is an awesome feature and I'm glad this game has one. I hope to see it return in all future COD games. There's also 2 new maps we got that were added onto the original multiplayer beta list that we got to play. I was very unimpressed with the original lineup. I only really liked Miami, and that's about it. The 2 new ones we got aren't great, however, those being Garrison and Checkmate. They really aren't anything special in terms of map design. Garrison is alright, mainly just a 3-lane corridor shooter with a bridge in the middle, and a treasure trove of frustrating camping line of sights to kill anyone who's trying to enter the warehouse. Checkmate feels very uninspired. It's another warehouse with a plane in the middle. Can someone tell me why they didn't just remaster Terminal from Modern Warfare 2, which was a hell of a lot better? I'd rather have Terminal than this shitty knockoff, because that's it. That's the map design. A rectangular building with a narrow aeroplane death zone in the middle. They give you 2 sniper nests on opposing sides and just some concrete walls on the rest of the map as cover, and that's about it. Very disappointing. In case you're wondering why I haven't included Nuketown in my count, well, that's because Activision didn't include it at launch. So yeah, originally we were stuck with only 8, technically 6 traditional multiplayer maps, since Armada and Crossroads were designed for combined arms. And Nuketown got patched in after launch despite it being a staple of the series since the original Black Ops. It had to be patched in. Whoops, this was supposed to be my praise section for the video. Well, I guess I ran fresh out of it sooner than I intended, because this multiplayer on just about all other accounts is a dumpster fire. Unbalanced to the point of being aneurysm-inducing, streamlined as shit from Modern Warfare, and some of the most painful design I've seen in a Call of Duty game. Which in this game's case, shockingly enough, doesn't really try to do much new. Seriously, Treyarch, how can you keep making the same game for over 10 years and get progressively shitter at it? Truthfully, I didn't play Black Ops 3 or 4, but the reason I have some respect for those games, at least on paper, is because at least they innovated the multiplayer to some degree. I know a lot of you are going to say they just ripped off other game mechanics and stuck it into COD, and yeah, you're not wrong to an extent, but despite that, I'm more concerned with how it plays. And I wouldn't expect the same standard of quality from a Call of Duty game trying something new instead of sticking with their original formula. After all, Black Ops 3 had the advanced movement, and at least Black Ops 4 made Blackout. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, however, goes back to the original Black Ops style multiplayer, and it does a piss poor job of modernizing it. Let's start with the first major annoyance: a lack of options. While Fireteam Dirty Bomb and VIP Escort is fun, and I'll admit Combined Arms has kinda grown on me, beyond that, there's very little new here that distinguishes Black Ops Cold War as a multiplayer game. I mentioned in my review of the Cold War beta that the new game mode Control is kinda stupid, because the attacking team has to push and make themselves vulnerable, despite having the same amount of lives as the defending team, that can just sit back and camp and let the bullets fly. And you know what? I stand by that. I don't know who designed Control, but if they designed the rest of my grievances with the multiplayer, that explains a hell of a lot. Speaking of Nuketown, I actually tried Control one more time just to see if my opinion on it had changed for the better, and it could not have left a worse taste in my mouth. Combine that with all my other grievances that I'll discuss very shortly. I played a match of Control, it was on Nuketown, and we were the attacking side, and my team drained all of its 30 lives within the first minute, while we ran into camper upon camper with their 100-meter shotguns from every slimy crevice on the map. It was a dumpster fire of a match, and just reinforced my stance that the attacking team needs more lives than the defending team. Though admittedly, not even immortality could have won us that match. Also severely lacking in options is the multiplayer maps. We only have 8 multiplayer maps, including the 2 of which were added after the beta. And as I mentioned, those were very uninspired maps. I'd go as far as to say lazy maps, to be perfectly honest. But what further shows a lack of options is 2 of those 8 maps were designed for the Combined Arms game mode, those being Armada and Crossroads. Now, I already hated Crossroads, but playing that map on the good old Domination game mode is a nightmare. It's very obvious the map was not designed to be played that way. It's way too small, has 2 bunkers connected by a small bridge that are just corner camping grenade spam zones, and otherwise people are just sniping each other from around the perimeter. Oh, more on that soon enough. And when it comes to Armada, in a traditional 6v6 multiplayer, honestly that map is just straight up boring. It looks boring, it feels boring. It's just a 2-lane map really, with a bit of verticality in the middle structure. The map is interesting when it's played in Combined Arms, for sure. But once again, we have 8 multiplayer maps, technically only 6 that were designed for traditional multiplayer. Treyarch cut massive corners here. What else does Black Ops Cold War lack in options? Well, class customization, of course. In Black Ops Cold War, despite having a clearly defined sandbox, it doesn't even come close to what should be expected in a Call of Duty game. In Black Ops Cold War, you get 5 assault rifles, 5 SMGs, 3 LMGs, 4 tactical rifles, 3 snipers, 3 pistols, 2 shotguns, 2 launchers, 1 melee and 1 special, which is just a grenade launcher. Seriously, why not just chuck that into the launchers category? And we don't even have the ballista knife or the crossbow that the original Black Ops popularized. Now, in Modern Warfare 2019, at launch, mind you, you had 8 assault rifles, 6 SMGs, 4 shotguns, 4 LMGs, 3 marksman rifles, 3 snipers, 5 pistols, 4 launchers, and 2 melee weapons. There's no question Modern Warfare gave players far more bang for their buck, And this is the game that Treyarch was supposedly trying to follow up and copy for its class customization formula, since progression and unlocking new weapons is part of what makes Call of Duty addicting. Black Ops Cold War failed hard at providing a vast amount of class customization options to extend the game's longevity. That's if players can be bothered playing this shit heap for long enough to unlock them in the first place, because personally, I'm already bored and fed up with this game's multiplayer. So why is that? Well, now we move on to painful design decisions. Ever wondered why Black Ops Cold War was an explosive orgy fest the first time you tried playing it? You wonder why it was nigh on impossible to take the middle objective on the map Cartel, and why you'd always get blown the fuck up trying to? Well, that's because of these stupid additions to class customization. The wildcards. One of 4 options that gives each player a game-changing advantage. And the very first option that's freely unlocked for all players is Danger Close, which means every single player gets double the C4, double the Simtex, double the frag grenades, double the stun grenades, and that shit is flying all over the map, giving players a ridiculous amount of Hail Mary kills in each match. Now, why I hate this also comes back to a lack of options. Firstly, there's only 4 of these, and each option provides a ridiculous advantage per wildcard. You can have 2 primary weapons, you can add 3 more attachments to make your primary weapon even more of a laser beam, 3 extra perks, that's right, 3, and yeah, these wildcards, these massive balance fuckers, are all in addition to the perks you already have. And what's funny is that Danger Close used to be an ordinary perk, but now it's been jacked up on steroids and gives you maximum ammo, and it doubles the explosives for every player that has it. Oh, and it's available for all players immediately from the first multiplayer match. Now, admittedly, this was kind of a problem in a different sense for Modern Warfare 2019 because they made the Claymore the default lethal equipment, and it was almost impossible to traverse the map without stumbling onto one of those explosive fuckers for an insta-death. The difference with Black Ops Cold War is that you can't throw the Claymore, and even still, Treyarch aren't trailing far behind by making the proximity mine the first unlocked field upgrade. If you wanted to have more balance, why not have 8 wildcards instead of 4 that give each player less of an advantage? For example, 1 wildcard can give you an extra lethal, 1 wildcard can give you an extra tactical, 1 wildcard can give you 2 extra attachments for your primary weapon instead of 3. 1 wildcard can make the player more resistant to enemy tacticals. 1 wildcard can give players 1 extra perk, not 3, Jesus Christ. Please, for the love of God, put the Lawbreaker wildcard with the ordinary perks. That's where it belongs. That's where it's always belonged. In addition to that painful design, Treyarch has to go ahead and almost completely ruin Domination. Answer me in the comments, please. Raise your hand if you thought giving Domination a halftime feature was a good idea. Admittedly, this doesn't just apply to Treyarch. Modern Warfare implemented this in 2019, and apparently this has been a staple of COD since Black Ops 2, which honestly makes a lot of sense to me since Modern Warfare was the first Call of Duty I played since Call of Duty Ghosts. However, last I checked, people hated this feature, which is why Modern Warfare removed halftime from Domination. Because that mode is meant to be an objective-based capture and control all-out warfare mode. I don't play Domination for the game to stop dead in its tracks. Also, it can show the best play of the match that likely involves me getting killed, which is only going to make me more pissed off. Then we switch to the other side of the map, and the game makes us have to capture all the zones all over again. This is extremely frustrating, especially if a team works hard to gain a foothold and capture a second zone that's been held by the enemy team for most of the match, only to have the game rip the team's hard work away and say, fuck you, you're going to do it all over again. Halftime makes Domination, which is honestly my second favorite game mode in Call of Duty, an absolute chore to play. Which means I used to have 5 game modes that I like to play, and now I'm only going to have 4, and some people are going to have even less. I don't play Domination for the game to stop dead in its tracks. That's why Search and Destroy exists. Treyarch, don't you know your own game? Other really stupid design choices include the split-second kill cam. I don't know about you guys, but I often like watching the kill cam because I can get better from it. As a player, I can get better. I can learn from my mistakes. I can see what gave away my position, how my opponent outsmarted me, how they got into position to kill me. The kill cams in Black Ops Cold War are so quick, however, that you can't gather this information. All it has enough time to tell you is, this guy killed you. Boom. Meaning there's nothing constructive I can take from it. At that point, it's just an annoyance. And another really stupid decision Treyarch have made for players on PC is that they've locked the ability to change your input device in-game. There would be times I just want to switch over to mouse and keyboard in a match, but the game doesn't allow an input change while the match is taking place. So you got to go all the way back to the main menu and unlock the mouse and key bindings. And this is worst of all when I'm using my Elite controller and for whatever reason, the Bluetooth cuts out and then you can't switch to mouse and keyboard. You either got to reset the Bluetooth by leaving the game or change to mouse and keyboard by leaving the game. It's absolutely atrocious. Finally, thanks for being patient. We're going to talk about the real biggest problem with the multiplayer. A problem so big that the multiplayer is essentially broken. Let me ask, while you've been playing Black Ops Cold War's traditional multiplayer, or hell, even Combined Arms or Fireteam Dirty Bomb, have you ever thought to yourself, damn, I get killed by a lot of sniper shots? Or, damn, there's way more quickscopers than in all of the other Call of Duty games? Or, hey, that sniper shot on the kill cam absolutely should have missed me. Or hey, if I get shotgunned by another sniper rifle from the other side of Armada one more time, I might actually kill myself. Or, damn, Black Ops Cold War plays like absolute shit. I'm sure many of you have pondered such a thought by now. The reason for that is because the sniping in Black Ops Cold War is completely fucked. Doubly so with crossplay and going up against a reasonably competent mouse and keyboard player, and I'll explain why. For those of you who've played Modern Warfare at launch, do you remember this guy, the Model 725? Remember how Infinity Ward completely screwed up and made that shotgun into a sniper rifle?
What?
Yeah, that was pretty bad. And yes, that did break the game temporarily, but the Model 725 was never intended to be that strong. It was a flaw in game design that was essentially an accident and was quickly patched. And the game was far more playable after Infinity Ward fixed it inside of the first week. Alright, take a deep breath and get ready for this. The reason why sniping is completely broken in Black Ops Cold War is because they, Treyarch, designed the latter two sniper rifles of the progression system to be one-shot kills from anywhere on the map. Let's read through the description for the LW3 Tundra sniper rifle, shall we? Bolt action sniper rifle, high damage with moderate sway, one shot kill to the head, the chest, and the shoulders. One shot kill to the head, chest, and shoulders. The shoulders! Treyarch, you've lost your mind. And bear in mind, this is a weapon that's unlocked before level 30. And this is a bolt-action rifle. The M82 is essentially the same thing, unlocked at level 55, except it's a semi-automatic sniper rifle. Let's take a look at the M82's description, shall we? It says, heavy recoil with slow handling, one shot to the head or upper chest. It doesn't say if it's close quarters, if it's from long way away. It just says one shot to the head or upper chest. It's in writing, which means unless it has something to distinguish it further, it means anywhere on the map. Unlike the Tundra, it doesn't distinctly say a one-shot kill to the shoulders, so on paper that makes the Tundra the more effective and bullshit weapon, and it's unlocked much, much earlier in the game's progression. So that's why every Tom, Dick, and Harry is sprinting around shotgunning everyone with their sniper rifle, quick-scoping one-shot kills without hitting the head before you can give off the first 5 rounds with your assault rifle. That's why insta-deaths are happening all over the map, that's why snipers are by far the most viable weapon, because of this one-shot kill nonsense, and the description of each weapon is describing the stock weapon. You can spec them with 5 bloody attachments each, 8 with the gunfighter wildcard, and players can essentially turn them into map-traversing insta-death shotguns, or more accurately, railguns. Unfortunately, it gets worse. One of the praises I actually gave to Black Ops Cold War's beta is how it's trying to differentiate itself from Modern Warfare's extremely fast time to kill by giving players significantly longer TTK, enabling longer gunfights with more emphasis on skill rather than quick reflexes. And while I think Modern Warfare 2019's multiplayer is almost perfect as it is, Black Ops Cold War was actually a nice change of pace in the beta. However, this is completely stupid and detrimental to the game now, making it even more unfair, because every single weapon has been given a longer TTK. Every single player has been given a significant health buffer for every single weapon, except for the sniper rifles. And that's the nail in the coffin right there. You could be the most accurate motherfucker with an assault rifle and and hit every single shot on your opponent in a fraction of the time. A player with a spec'd LW3 Tundra or M82 can one-shot you without shooting you in the head, and you're instantly dead. Again, this makes snipers the most viable weapon in the game. This is why 8 out of 10 games are just sniper fests, even on small maps or rather tight combat zones which don't have long lines of sight. This is why Armada is an aneurysm to play on combined arms, because you can get one-shotted by a sniper with no bullet arc or wind accountability from the other side of the goddamn map. That's why Crossroads is a nightmare, because you can get one-shotted out of nowhere from pretty much any direction and any distance. And that's why 7 out of 10 people use the Tundra or the M82 sniper rifle on just about every map. And most of all, this stupid game design catering to these sniper rifles, in addition to the changes to the TTK, is the reason you could be winning a gunfight with a sniper wielder, only for you to say, what the fuck, when the kill cam shows you a bullet that instantly kills you despite it seeming to have missed. Because in actuality, all it did was graze your shoulder or upper arm, and that instantly kills you. You'd think Treyarch, after having made Call of Duty games for over 10 years, would know how to balance sniper rifles. I know I'm an armchair developer, right? But let me know how this sounds. Make every sniper rifle a one-shot kill to the head only at any distance. Make the bolt action or high caliber semi-automatic sniper rifle with high damage, slow fire rate a one-shot kill to the body depending on the distance from the target. For example, any shot inside of 25 meters to the body is an insta-kill. Any shot to the body outside of the 25 meter range is a two-shot kill. And you know what? Here's some common sense. Never make the shoulder a one-shot kill for any gun. It's a video game, for goodness sake. Chill out with the ultra-realism, Treyarch. Not to mention, for sniping at long ranges, bullet arcing definitely needs to be made a thing. Otherwise, you're still going to be railgunning people in the head from across the map, like on Armada. Not sure if I mentioned that. In Black Ops Cold War's effort to try and balance things out with the longer TTK, ironically enough, this actually makes Modern Warfare even more balanced with its shorter TTK, because anyone not using a bolt-action sniper or marksman rifle has a much fairer chance of killing someone at range with an assault rifle, SMG, or LMG, and that's outside of the fact that snipers in Modern Warfare are far more balanced anyway. Look at the HDR sniper from Modern Warfare. It's one of the most powerful snipers in the game, if not the most powerful, and it's one of my personal favorite weapons. First off, look at how many stats decide its performance. Accuracy, damage, range, that's a big one. Fire rate, mobility, and control. Doesn't that paint a much clearer picture of what this weapon can do and how it will perform, rather than the incredibly blunt and non-descriptive firepower, speed, accuracy, and ammo from the Black Ops Cold War description of the Tundra? Like, honestly, that doesn't tell me shit about how the gun performs compared to Modern Warfare, because there isn't much to tell, because the gunplay in Black Ops and the weapon diversity and performance is so shallow. Now, admittedly, the HDR sniper rifle from Modern Warfare is a one-shot kill anywhere on the body except for the legs, from virtually anywhere on the map. And while I'm still not a fan of this function for snipers, why then is this not the most viable weapon in Modern Warfare 2019? Why aren't there nearly as many players quickscoping with it? Why is this one-shot kill weapon way more balanced, relatively speaking? Well, there's actually three main reasons. Firstly, again, Modern Warfare's TTK is much faster than Black Ops Cold War. So the only people who are even going to try and use this weapon as a quickscoper would be the most proficient players that aren't nearly as common to come across. Two, the ADS is significantly slower than in Black Ops Cold War for the LW3 Tundra and the M82, if only by a few milliseconds, and in Call of Duty, milliseconds count. Matter of fact, at Modern Warfare's launch, the quickscoping community was complaining about how slow the ADS function was for the HDR sniper. And three, the rate of fire is what you'd expect from a bolt-action rifle. Very slow. While most shots I land with the HDR are one-shot kills, whenever I come across an enemy at mid to close range, if my shot misses or doesn't kill them, 99 out of 100 times, I'll be dead before I can fire a second shot. It may be a one-shot kill from anywhere on the map, but this rifle is meant to be used as a traditional sniper, not as a pocket railgun, which is why it's much fairer and feels much more satisfying and rewarding to use when you land a one-shot kill. That's what gives the gameplay in Modern Warfare depth. That's why the HDR is an excellent sniper rifle. And for all the reasons that are not this, that is why Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War's sniping and multiplayer is absolutely broken and desperately needs to be patched. As a matter of fact, the ADS on the Tundra was heavily accelerated from the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War beta, which explains so much about why I find the now fully released multiplayer to be way more unfun to play than the mediocre beta I played last month. Seriously, what the fuck were Treyarch thinking? So in conclusion, yes, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War's multiplayer sucks for several reasons, and it's very understandable why so many players aren't fond of this game's multiplayer, and I think this video did a reasonably well job of describing why. Again, it mainly comes down to three things: a lack of options for multiplayer maps and class customization, terrible and outright frustrating game design, and that also goes hand in hand with the broken sniper rifle, that, as hard as it is to believe, were designed to be broken based on Treyarch's own words and how they designed the rest of the game with the longer TTK. I hope Treyarch fixes these problems with Black Ops Cold War soon, and Activision needs to get on Treyarch's case to do it. And seriously, Nuketown was an add-on? That's how little you respect the COD community, Activision? Seriously? No wonder this game's multiplayer is barren and boring as shit. You gave it no love whatsoever. It's a broken assembly line multiplayer. If Black Ops didn't have zombies, Treyarch, you guys would be fucked. I want to make it clear that I actually finished making this video the day after the Nuketown update. And to be perfectly clear, the patch notes showed that Treyarch made no attempts to balance the multiplayer. Anyway, guys, that's going to be the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below. If you have time, consider staying for this short outro. First off, in case you haven't figured it out, this is actually my second channel that talks about video games. If you were interested in movies, television, or pop culture related content, you can find me primarily on Anomaly Inc. I've linked my primary channel in the description, and I hope you check it out. You may find something to your liking. Secondly, don't forget to check out the channel's Discord server. It's a gaming dedicated Discord where we talk about Call of Duty, Halo, Doom, Nintendo, gaming news, and other stuff as well. Check it out at your leisure, and who knows, maybe you'll make some friends along the way. Next, I want to give a shout out and thank you to all of my patrons for all of their contributions and support for my work. You guys are awesome, and I appreciate the generosity. If you'd like to become a patron and pledge to the channel, even if it's just $1 per month, the link to Patreon is in the description. And finally, here's one last thank you for staying till the end of the video. You are a legend, and I'll see you next time.